What's up? Welcome back to Nostalgia. Dave here with a review of Kaytranada's third album, Timeless. Kaytranada, the Canadian DJ, back with his first full-length album since Bubba came out way back at the end of 2019. Bubba, that was the Grammy Award-winning album that really fully pushed Kaytranada into the mainstream, even though at that point he had been an active, celebrated DJ online and off the first album for a large chunk of time. At this point, Kaytranada's been active for well over 10 years, so he's been around a minute. And at this point, he's incredibly well established as one of the most celebrated DJs and active music producers that we have right now. Kaytranada specifically has really developed his own musical identity as a DJ and as a producer. So I think the body of work at this point kind of speaks for itself, and look no further than when Kaytranada came out, last year, his collab project with the rapper Amine. Kaytranada to me was pretty underwhelming, but it really had nothing to do with Kaytranada's side of things. I just thought Amine didn't really live up to the Kaytranada part of the bargain. Kaytranada is so talented, so versatile in terms of his mixing, in terms of his sample prowess, that you gotta really show up. I think for the most part, Kaytranada's third album, Timeless, the guests really showed up to match Kaytranada's talent. This very much sounds and moves like a Kaytranada project, and he has a lot of choice guests, big name features on this, but really the star of the show is Kaytranada's mixing, his sampling, his ability to kind of switch and float in between genres. At 21 songs, the album is a tad long for me. You gotta really, I guess, to spend time with it and really sit in those pockets because Kaytranada is doing a lot. There's so many flourishes on all of these songs. There's lots of switch ups. There's lots of reference points that this is an album that you just kind of have to sit with and take in. The other side of that, though, while I like most of the album, despite its length, I don't know if I had necessarily an immediate standout favorite song. To me, it was just so consistent throughout that nothing really popped out as an obvious highlight to me. Normally, I would say that's a negative, but to me, I thought the whole album is really kind of the piece that it speaks to you in terms of Kaytranada's work, and I guess that's what you'd want from an artist who doesn't actually sing on his own music. If I think back on past Kaytranada songs, like a few years ago, he released that single Chances with Shay Leah, and I absolutely love that song. That's a banger to me. I don't know if I heard something I like quite as much on Timeless, even if the craft is so evident here. Just kind of going through the songs here, again, there's so many, but the first song, Pressure, I love the drums. Spit It Out, I love the violins. Rochelle Jordan, vocals, very strong. She's on here twice. Call You Up, I love the looping keys. Lou Phelps rapping, someone I was not familiar with, really spazzed on that song. He did great. Weird featuring Duran Burner, funky as hell, very soulful song. That one's great, one of my highlights for sure. Dance, 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 Dance times 4. Instrumental only, no feature. Short, but very vibey. I think to me, that's my favorite song that doesn't have a feature, and there's only a handful of those. I enjoyed the Raven Lene performance on video. Looking forward to her album coming out in August. Drip Sweat, the first of 2 Channel Trace features. I thought Channel Trace probably the best feature here. He really stood out to me. The other song, Stunting, as well. I think he's just really matching the beat and some of his kind of hardest flows he's ever done. He's not like a main rapper per se usually, but I thought he was awesome on the songs. The horns on Drip Sweat from Kaytranada really stood out. Please Babe, some kind of percussion, some kind of bell. Couldn't really place it, but it sounded cool, very groovy. I enjoyed Stepped On. I loved seeing hearing the Tinashe feature more than a little bit. Tinashe's been a nasty girl, great look for her. I'm really happy things are working out right now for her. This is a big feature as well. Anderson .Paak on Due to Me. The No Worries album comes out next week. I'm excited. Pretty good feature from Anderson, all things considered. Also pretty good feature from Childish Gambino on Witchy. Someone else has an album coming out soon. On Wasted Words, Thundercats singing, unsurprisingly, very smooth, very silky, sounded great match for the beat. Snap My Finger featuring Pink Panthers, I thought was awesome. Man, I think Pink, I never really heard her on this type of, electronic music before, but it's no surprise that she's kind of right at home on it. I thought she really brought it. Probably my favorite individual feature, all things considered. I also quite like the background vocals that kind of pop up at the back end of Stuntin', the second Channel Trace song. But yeah, Kaytranada, I think this is an album that's probably going to stand out more for its mixing and its sampling and its kind of wide palette, wide swath of sounds versus something like super like crazy like what he did on 99.9%. I just don't know if there's anything quite as big as his big hit 10% off Bubba with Caliuchis, for example. But yeah, I mean, Kaytranada, you can't put the guy in a box. Incredible producer, really has all the tools. Interestingly, he did note, I forget what song it was on Timeless, but he did note that there was AI assisting to some of his sampling on this album. And that's interesting. But that's also an example of the benefits that you can get with artificial intelligence when it comes to the creation of art, when it's helping and assisting an actual artist versus someone who's a hack trying to make art that's not actually talented. Good thing to keep in mind the difference between those two. But yeah, shout out Kaytranada. This is an album I'm looking forward to spending more time sitting with. As I said, just going to take some time to really dig into it. But the bar is high, but also the floor is high when it comes to his music. And he's one of those singular talents in electronic music. It's kind of obvious at this point. But let me know, what was your favorite song? Like I said, I didn't really have one after the first few listens. What stood out most to you about it? What's your favorite song? And for more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.